day 133. Now, I know y'all wondering, where the hell is day 130, 131, and 132? I'll tell you where it is. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. But you know what happened? I'll show you what happened. It's been uploading for the past 2 to 3 days. I don't know. This is this phone is better than what I'm recording on right now, and it's stuck. This phone that I'm recording on right now uploads way better, but I don't want to record on it because my storage is getting stretched, and I do need to start uploading things to the cloud and clear out my storage. Anyway, let's move on. What have I done today? Today I've literally just been up at home. If you can see, bro, the amount of ink blotting on this shit is worrying me. I'm starting to think I might not have any ink left by the time this heals. But I think, pretty sure that's normal. It has never happened to me, because apparently it's just because there's just so much ink. It's because it's like really black work, like deep black work. Whereas every other piece I've had has just been not so much black work. But damn, that is a lot of black ink. That's never happened to me. It's really worrying. But amen. Touch-ups are free. So, but I don't want to spend all that time on a touch-up. I've just spent 2 minutes talking about jack shit. Okay, fuck. We did some filming and scripting, and I really realized, wow, like the flow, the workflow I have for posting is terrible, right? So I really have to work on that. I think the best plan is to spend 1 or 2 days actually writing scripts and filming. Then dedicate a whole day or two just for that. Just because I can get in a creative flow and crank things out instead of having to do it daily, which it kind of felt like that's what I was doing today. It felt like, wow, I really spent all this time for one video, whereas I could crank out production for multiple videos for an entire week within 1 to 2 days, and the flow of it all is better because I'm in the zone. You know, it's all about being in the zone. I literally talked about this in one of the videos that I scripted about like maker versus manager schedules. Anyway, you gotta be a maker when it comes to this kind of thing. Anyway, we back tested for about 3-4 hours today. Went back to, I finally started on 2024 data for gold. Terrible Feb was terrible in 2024 for gold, for my strategy at least. I think it was still tradable, but yeah, not good for my strategy, not good for my system. I don't think I would have even been in drawdown because I literally saw 0 trade opportunities for a straight week, but that's fine. Right now, what I want to do, my main focus is to get as much data as I can on gold for my system. Starting with 2024, 2025 is done. I'm done with 2025. There's enough trades on there. Even though I skipped weeks and I actually went from like 2 weeks at a time to 1 week this month, 1 week that month, or like 2 weeks this month. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. We want to see 2024, and then we want to see 2023, and basically just get a bigger picture of how my system plays out. And then I want to look into my backtesting data, look at loss streaks, win streaks, bad months, great months, months where I was in a setup drought, and I'm gonna just like think, okay, where would my mental be if I was in this situation? If I was in drawdown, I had a red month, or if I had a whole month of like setup drought, I found one good setup all month, what would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? And that's the name of the game, so that I can really like get adjusted, so that when these things happen, because these things are inevitable statistically, You will have red months, you will have losing streaks, you will have very bad weeks, bad months. Bad losing streaks. And I feel like if you mentally prepare yourself for these things because you know it's gonna happen, and you already seen the data to know that it happens, and you've also kind of like put yourself in the shoes of that situation, it's easier to handle the things and easier to trust your system if your system is proven. Obviously, I don't know how good my system is. It seems fine to me. I've got roughly 50% win rate. I'm trusting in it. And I feel like recently, every trade I've taken has just been very robotic. Thankfully, gold has been moving great for my system from like 2025 onwards, especially when the bull market just started running. It just started pushing higher and higher and getting a lot more volatility behind it. It works great. But now, after that, I also want to see how my system fares on other pairs, and I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. Generally, my system works best with either when an asset is just trending with enough volatility behind it, a good amount, or when it's consolidating. And when it consolidates, I need it to be like high volatility consolidation where it's making big moves up and down within a range. Gold has been doing that for the past how many months, maybe over a year now, where if it consolidates after maybe making an all-time high, it has a really big 1 hour, 4 hour consolidations that you can really get good setups off of, or the supply and demand strategy, or support and resistance basically. And you can kind of do the same when it trends. When it's in a correction market, it usually is good. You can just say, okay, when it retraces here into this supply zone, you go for a sell and trade with the trend. It works both ways, but it doesn't work when it's really weird and volatile like it was in 2024. So I don't think my strategy would work well with futures, and it doesn't seem to work well with Forex or a lot of Forex pairs because it seems to me a lot of these supply and demand zones don't get respected that much, especially low time frame supply and demand zones. Like 5 minute never gets respected, 50-minute maybe, hourly probably, but it's not like gold, which has been respecting supply and demand zones like so much, which is great. But obviously I want to find other pairs that it works with so that I know my system can hold its edge when gold eventually starts going shit. And I'm sure it will. But for now, it's not. So I'm glad. Anyway, I was looking more into trading psychology. That's pretty much my day been. Social media, editing, posting. Well, not posting, but editing, scripting, filming, learning trading psychology, just listening to a podcast, noting things down. It couldn't work out today, obviously, for obvious reasons. And actually backtesting, no trade-off, of course. And what I was also looking into is prop firms and the prop firm route. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to take the prop firm route completely. I thought about it. Obviously, very seasonal thing, price action's never the same, and a strategy and a system doesn't always have consistent performance month on month. There are going to be red months, red weeks, maybe a red 2 months. But the point is, you have your data, you look at it, you have your edge, and you say, okay, well, I have this prop firm account. Let's say I do FTMO, get 8% profit split when I'm funded. So after I get my first payout, the one that comes after the the refund payout. So after the refund payout, you get 80%. Then you think, okay, 80%. If on a good month I can make this much, the numbers, I'm averaging like a 2.7 R per trade per win, and I risk 1,000, so could make about 1.6k. So I'd say roughly a maximum of 2k a week on a good week, maybe 1k, maybe 500 in profit, and you take 80% of that. And I'm like, okay, well, you're not gonna make much off one account, obviously. So then you're gonna take on more accounts and copy trade. And I was like, okay, even still, like this, off of, if you get max allocation in FTMO, which is 400k, and I think that's only for 400k in terms of beginner non-scaled accounts. I think you can scale it further if I'm not mistaken. Then you can, off of just those 400k capital, off of the 80% split, assuming 80%, because you're not going to get scaled up to 90%, which if you're 400k allocation, you could probably get scaled up to 90% profit split, and then you earn this much money. You're making money, you're making bread. And my strategy over the 2025 data that I got, it had a 11.57% return on, I guess, the entire year. And that's excluding a lot of weeks of data that I didn't even go over. There were weeks that I actually, there were obviously a lot of days that I didn't trade, so obviously it is missing a lot of data, but there were the weeks I didn't even look at, and so that's 11.57%. But you do the math, but that's pretty much, that's not even enough for full-time income. Oh, that's USD. Okay, no, never mind, it is. So yeah, before taxes, it's enough. After taxes, yeah, sure. Which basically meant that, okay, well, obviously I'm possibly still living with my mom, possibly still living with family, possibly not paying much bills, if any at all, which means technically I take home a good majority, almost all of that profit for myself, and I don't lose it. But then I still have to get other prop firm accounts, so it's not just gonna be FTMO. I have to get other prop firm and get their accounts, get past their challenges. So I would have a set amount of money set aside for passing more accounts, getting more accounts, and just copy trading. Obviously, with the prop firms that allow or even encourage copy trading, and Apex apparently does, which is great. And the more accounts I can copy trade with, the more money I make, basically. But you don't make a huge amount of money. And the thing is, if you really want to make hella bank from live trading with your own capital, not prop firm, you have to have a lot of money, right? Think about the leverage, think about all the money, and you have to have like a good amount of money that you can use as a cushion, because so that the money you risk doesn't actually have stakes to you, that the money that you risk doesn't start pressuring you just because it's big. It doesn't pressure you because it's money you're willing to risk. That's the whole point of it. So the prop firm route is going to be the name of the game for the most part. And yeah, basically scale up as much as I can, get as many accounts as I can, make as much profit as I can during the times that I can make profit. and we'll just see where it goes. Because for the most part, I don't foresee myself getting a live account. You'd have to be very comfortable and in a good circumstance to be able to do that. And in terms of like full-time trading, that's gonna be a while too. Because then again, obviously I don't pay bills, and I don't foresee myself paying bills in the near future. But on the other hand, your boy wants to, like, obviously slowly transition into more full-time trading. Obviously, I wouldn't be like trade and then do nothing for the rest of the day. That wouldn't be me. I would be more like trade and do something else. That's the name of the game. That's what I want to do. So obviously, yeah. But wow, that's the name of the game. That's the plan. I'm getting really sleepy. I don't know when those videos are gonna come out. I might have to upload those videos to the cloud and download them like on my laptop, just so I can upload it from there, because I don't know, YouTube Studio is bugging. Yeah. Okay, yeah. This happens every video where I just start blanking out at the end. I think that's a sign that I need to end this now, because there's nothing else to say. And we've had 17 minutes. I don't know how I've talked for 17 minutes. I don't say any philosophical shit. I was legit just talking about trading the entire time. Unreal. Also, King Henry method for real. I wish. Okay, it's on my phone, this one, but there's a photo of me from legit a year ago exactly. I look different, man. I look way different, and I look chopped. Like, oh my days, this light's getting in my eyes. Oh, I gotta turn it down. I can't turn it down. I wouldn't say I'm chopped now. I think I look okay. Skin's getting better. A little setback of the past month of, poor sleep, poor diet. But the vitamin C and different combo, the adapalene gel combo, it is working. My skin's brighter. Like, obviously this is a shit camera, so it can't really do me justice. But also, one thing I didn't have last year was facial structure. Bro, my face was so fat 1 year ago. Like, I actually looked so fat and bloated, and my acne was so bad from the Accutane. I was so chopped, like, genuinely. All I had was the jawline. The jawline was still there, but bro, I was so fat. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure I was still like 72 kgs back then. I'm like 68 now. 4 kgs lost. You can kind of see it in the face. Anyway, we're about to hit 20 minutes. 20 minutes of complete nonsense. No one's here. Right? If anyone has made it this far, comment down below. I made it, baby boy. I made it. Oh my gosh. Donald. Anyway, let's Let's see if Venezuela collapses and I can make money off of gold, off of the tragedy of an entire nation. You guys have a blessed, wonderful night. Good night.